You know what's shameful? Your feelings. Not that there's something to be ashamed of necessarily, but that you're holding shame in your system that you probably don't know about. In fact, definitely don't know about. If you want to grow online, be seen, serve people, and make great money doing so, then you need to have a look at your childhood and ask yourself, were you ever humiliated, embarrassed, made to feel less than? Were you ever made to feel like you had such a high bar to live up to? And maybe you never could truly measure up to be the best. Or maybe you were told that you weren't good enough. Now, people are usually on one side of the camp. They were told that they're the best, that they're great, that they have to be great. And guess what? This gives you a complex that you can never be the best. There's always someone better, faster, smarter, prettier. And if your identity is wrapped up around praise in being the best, well, that's going to give you shame that you're not always the best. Because you know, inside, no matter how good you look on the outside, there's always a part of you that feels like you're just not quite there, right? This is why praise based on effort, where if you put enough effort, put in the right attitude, you do the work, you can do absolutely great and fantastic and, you know, really make a difference or whatever your thing is. That's where praise can really help with yourself and with others. Now, the other side of the coin are people are just told that they weren't any good and that they will never amount to anything because of their choices. And this also gives them shame. Of course, being bullied, mocked in front of people, embarrassing yourself on stage when you were a kid, like so many different, a million different scenarios that could have happened, will give you this internal sense of shame that no matter how positive you are on the surface, it's stuck in your body as an actual energy. Just like if you have a sandcastle, right? But inside it has rocks all within it, little rocks within it. On the outside, it looks like it's just a sandcastle, but on the inside, it's got all these rocks. Now, these rocks are condensed quantum knots. These are the blocks that people talk about. Some people say blocks aren't real. Now, blocks aren't real because the beliefs behind them aren't real to how the universe actually works. This is why it can be very easy that once you change your mindset and release the blocks, then they just sort of go away and things just start working out really well. But as an energy alchemist myself of 14, almost 15 years since I had a mental breakdown and I had to get an energy healing because I had such severe PTSD, I had chronic health issues, social anxiety, mental health issues, severe, crippling self-worth issues. I couldn't even be on camera. I would freeze. Like you wouldn't recognize the person I am. Energy alchemy, emotional healing works. When you do it right, when you know how to do it like I do, and this is what I help my clients with. But I can tell you, I've seen over the years, time and time and time again, people just trying to pretend that the blocks don't exist. Trying to be positive over the top of it. Oh, they don't exist, so therefore I'm all good. Yet you get this feeling come up, and it's when it comes to shame, it's like this icky, heavy feeling, almost like you don't want to be looked at. And it doesn't matter how positive you try to be, unless you face that emotional undercurrent that's swirling through your body and condensing, densifying, and stagnating, becoming literal like energy knots, like rocks in your system, actual rocks of energy that's supposed to be fluid moving God consciousness energy, but our thoughts and our fears and our experiences short circuit and create a dam. And then what should just be like water flowing through your body, your emotions, or like a wave or like weather, it turns into a rock. And this is why you get the lump in your throat where you go to speak, you go to turn on the camera. You might feel that raising of your shoulders and just a high alert energy. Or you might feel a heaviness in your heart that you can be really positive. But if you really are honest and you're to tune into your body, you'll have something somewhere. Maybe you'll feel a nausea or a tightness or a knot in your body or a flutter somewhere, a heat somewhere, a cold feeling, a stabbing feeling, a buzzing feeling, all these uncomfortable feelings. And when you tune into your body, you'll find that they've got actual energy knots that are, because you know how like the universe is like made up of little strings. Well, these strings get knotted together through our thought forms, building upon each other, and then they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is how our beliefs work to reflect it back to us. Now, this is also called, not a lot of people really call it this, but it's called an image. So when you're young, something happens, and it's like you take a little photograph of the event, and it's an image, an idea. So for instance, if you grew up and maybe money was everywhere, but you saw people constantly fighting about money, or you had to give up your happiness to have money, or maybe money was tight and you saw that your parents would struggle every time, you know, they had to pay the bills and things like that. Your little system downloaded an image and the energy of it that's like superimposed over reality in your subconscious mind. And you're running off that image, that little video clip, that little image that you downloaded into your body. And then this is what causes those quantum energy knots. Now, when you come to an energy alchemist like myself, I help you find what that image is. I help you dissolve it and turn that knot back into source energy, which means you're connected to your higher self. You're thinking from the energy of love, which is the ultimate, highest, truest intelligence in the world. So I hope this has been eye-opening, maybe answered a few things, especially when you hear like, well, blocks aren't real, but yet blocks are there. How can it be both? It's simply both, because universally, the way the universal law works, it's all a lie. But as humans, because we have free will, we can create whatever it is we imagine to be true, whatever we believe and know to be true. And so we create it as a truth, but it's actually ultimately a limitation and a lie and not how the world really works. The universe is actually a benevolent, loving place. But because of our experiences and our ancestors' experiences, which gets passed down through the DNA, we don't see it that way, and we create what we see. If you want help changing and dissolving these energy knots so you think from your higher self in your higher timelines, then reach out to me. I'm Kai Clifford, your spiritual guide and energy alchemist, and I love nothing more than helping amazing women like yourself to release all fears, doubts, shame, and blame in the way of living your ultimate experience.